We'll get to it. So, I'm going to take a quick break here. Tessa, thanks for playing with me.
Yeah, no problem. Catch you later, boss.
Alright, see you, buddy. Alright. Zelly with the space news. Alright, so... let's go here. Do space news while Flight Sim is updating. That's the plan, but I have to uninstall something. I don't think we have enough. Let's see. I don't think I uninstalled enough things. Can you make a flamethrower? I don't know if you can make a flamethrower. Yeah, but Tessa, some stuff is tied to structure. So if you want to try to build that tower up higher, do it and see what happens. Hello? Flight simulator? There we go. You're damn right, Tiggs. Cammy, how you doing? Cam is not correct.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Right as I open up Flight Simulator, I get a notification saying you're doing the same. Yay! No, it's not a Janet mission. 110 gigs. What games can I uninstall? I could, I guess Icarus would be fine to uninstall the experimental because that's the last time I'm going to play the experimental, so I'll do that. How much is Icarus? Oh, it's 50 gigs. Okay. Uninstall that. See what happens. I haven't played in months. Guys, Counter-Strike is not going to fix it. Counter-Strike's not going to fix that. Alright, what else could we uninstall? I could uninstall Far Cry. I didn't want to because... I don't want to because I'm still not finished with it, but it won't take too long to...
Discovery,
Hey, Wolfpack, what's up, dude? Red Dead? Dude, I don't even know if I have Red Dead installed. I think I uninstalled it to make room for Flight Simulator originally. Let me take a look. What are the biggest thing installed currently? GTA, Assetto Corsa. Yeah, Red Dead is not installed. Starbase? Let me take a look. I'm pretty sure I already uninstalled it.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yep. What about Stationeers? I haven't played Stationeers in a little while. That's 4 gigs. You know what? I'll just uninstall it right now. I mean, it doesn't take long because of my internet to reinstall this stuff, so it's not that big of a deal. Flight Sim, there can be only one. Yeah, man, it's freaking ridiculous. Neo, hey, 46-month resub. Thanks, buddy. All right, let's see if we have enough. I'm thinking about doing that, Fractal. I'm thinking about just buying another terabyte solid state, putting it in the computer, and going from there. The person you were playing Icarus with, does he stream? Well, Kausika, that's Tessa. That's the person that talked right before you. No, Tessa. I don't think Tessa streams. Tessa's one of my moderators. That's right, Electron. Let's see. Let's take a look. Oh boy. You know how I love it when it's not skippable. I don't know how you're surviving on only 1 terabyte. Yeah. I don't play many new games. I know what you meant, Zelly. You had to install Microsoft on a hard drive. Oh. Hard drive disk. Yikes. $110.21 gigaboots needed. What are we at? 107. Ugh. Alright. I'll uninstall Hearts of Iron for now. But there is an update. There is a huge update for Hearts of Iron that's coming, and I want to play that. Hearts of Iron is like 2 gigs. Well, that's what I need. That's such a good game, Boxy. When they had the trains and stuff back, I watched the trains update and oh, dude, yeah. Is hibernation mode on? What does that mean, Acid Paintball? I am not familiar. Well, I'm not too sure what you're talking about. I couldn't see it, Zelly. It was cloudy. So I watched Decon Greg. Greg had a great view of it. Alright, so we'll be getting into space news here momentarily. You got a nice picture of it? Wow, very good. Have you flown Microsoft in VR yet? No. They're changing how combat works on the micro scale. Cool. Yeah, Boxy, we're going to jump into that. No, I do, though. Come on. It says I need 110 gigs. Hello? Alright. Time to buy another SSD, indeed. Command prompt and drop in power cfg.exe. / hibernate off power cfg. Format C. Nice. Must be executed from an elevated command prompt. Okay, run as administrator. Okay. Done. It didn't, the prompt just didn't do anything. It just went back to, I am the administrator. Yep. Alright, so I had a similar issue. The default installation location changed. Just sure the path is exactly where the game is installed. Alright. Acid paintball, so what did that do? I mean, I trust you. I'm just wondering what it did. Alright. But you have to check CL. So the prompt, yeah, the prompt didn't do anything. But you have to check CL to see if there's space. Oh, wow. That freed up a lot of space, dude. Look at that. Wow, that freed up like 10 gigs. What is the hibernate thing? Houston, thanks for the raid. All right, well, that's updating now. Sweet. Excellent. Cool. That's going to take a little bit. So I will be back. I'm going to take a probably 20-minute break here, and then we'll start up Space News. So I'll see you guys on the other side. See you on the other side, Ray. Let's see. Here, let me get this up.
Sunday, April 12th, 1981.
I'll be back in
Kennedy
a little bit.
Space Center, Florida. The Space Shuttle. 14 stories high, 2,000 tons, poised on the pad for its maiden flight. This is Columbia, the spaceship that will orbit the Earth. Its external tank. It holds over 500,000 gallons of fuel for Columbia's 3 main engines. And the solid rocket boosters, the largest ever used on any launch vehicle and the first to be employed in a U.S. manned flight. At liftoff, the solid rocket boosters, together with the 3 main engines, will unleash more than 6.5 million pounds of thrust needed to launch the world's first reusable spacecraft. Never before has a winged vehicle been launched like a rocket, orbited the Earth, returned through frictional heating in excess of 2,500 degrees, and landed, still aerodynamically sound, to be launched again and again. If it succeeds, the space shuttle will truly be a remarkable flying machine. There are many other goals to be reached during the 54.5-hour mission that lies ahead. 144 test objectives are planned for the flight. These objectives could not be achieved without an astronaut crew. The commander, John Young. The pilot, Robert Crippen. Young has already been in space 4 times for a total of 533 hours. He is the most experienced astronaut flying today. Although Crippen has over 4,000 hours of jet aircraft flying time, this will be his first time in space. The astronauts make their way across the access arm toward the shuttle in the pre-dawn hours before launch. An American spaceship has never carried a human crew on its maiden voyage. At the Launch Control Center, 3 miles from the pad, final steps are being completed in the countdown. Final preparations are also being made in the Mission Control Center in Houston, where control of the flight will switch once the shuttle clears the tower. There has not been a manned launch from Kennedy Space Center since the Apollo-Soyuz test project in July of 1975. With this launch, Young and Crippen, launch controllers at the Cape, and flight controllers in Houston will experience the most dynamic, fast-paced series of launch events ever undertaken in the space program, all in less than 9 minutes. The most challenging ascent profile ever to be flown by a space vehicle. Photographers, film and television crews, plus newspaper and magazine writers from around the world, nearly 2,700 of them are here to cover the launch. In addition, approximately 600,000 spectators line the coastal area near the Kennedy Space Center. Arriving by every mode of transportation, they have come from every state in the Union and many foreign countries. The promise of a rebirth in America's manned space program and the dawn of a new era in space transportation awaits.
14, 13, T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start.
Roger, roll.
The roll will put the shuttle on its precise heading toward an imaginary target in space.
Roll program complete.
Roger, roll complete. Get a status. Vital. Go. Booster. Go. GNC. Go. Eagle. Go. Go at 40, Capcom. Columbia, Houston, you're go at 40.
The shuttle is now 40 seconds into flight.
Roger, Columbia, on the nice ride. You're lofting a little bit. You'll probably be slightly high at staging. Negative seats. Columbia, you're negative seats.
Should anything go wrong, the shuttle is now too high for the astronauts to use their ejection seats.
Columbia, you're go for SRB step.
We see SRB step flight.
Roger, on a step.
103 converge flight.
Bet. Capcom, let's tell them all the calls are going to be a tad early because of the hot first stage. Columbia, you're looking a little hot. All your calls will be a little early.
Okay. Map looks good here. Stand by, press to Miko.
Columbia, stand by. Press to Miko.
Mark it.
Marked. Press for Miko.
Roger, press for Miko.
The shuttle can now continue toward Miko, main engine cutoff.
They like your VAP, Eagle. Ecom.
Let's go, flight.
Capcom, VAPs go. Stand by, negative return. Columbia, stand by for negative return. Mark it. Marked. Negative return. And your revamp is good.
Outstanding. Sure is. We can confirm it. What a view.
And single engine rota flight. And Columbia, your single engine rota.
Columbia can land safely at the Naval Air Station in Rota, Spain, even if 2 of the 3 main engines should fail. Right now, the engines are generating over 42 million horsepower.
Miko 25, 6,
Miko.
0, up at 220.
Roger, Miko. And we got Miko confirmed. Miko
Roger,
confirmed,
Columbia,
and it's
Miko.
right on the money, nominal.
Main engine cutoff. Columbia is now in space, traveling over 18,000 miles per hour.
Okay, we got set.
Roger, we confirm the step, Columbia.
The external tank has just been jettisoned and is now falling away from the shuttle back toward Earth. The tank will break up as planned over the Indian Ocean when it comes into contact with the atmosphere. Shortly, by firing the OMS, Orbital Maneuvering System engines, Columbia will achieve orbit. Then one of the most important tests of the mission will be attempted, opening the payload bay doors. The doors must be opened before the end of the 6th orbit to expose the space radiator cooling system. If the radiators cannot be exposed, heat collected from the onboard electronics cannot be released, and the astronauts will have to return home. The OMS burns are successful. Columbia is now in orbit, circling the Earth at an altitude of approximately 150 miles. The payload bay doors will now be opened.
Okay, the 4th door's coming open now.
Roger, copy.
Well, you are missing one fantastic sight. Boy, that is really beautiful out there.
We appreciate those updates.
Both doors have been opened. The radiators can be deployed to begin dissipating the heat.
The doors are all opened up and hunky-dory. Glad to deploy it right on time.
And the radiators look good.
Okay, we want to show you our own spots here. We do have a few tile missing off of both of them. Off of the starboard pod, 3 tile and some smaller pieces, and off the port pod, looks like I see one full square and looks like a few little triangular shapes that are missing, and we're trying to put that on TV right now.
Roger, Crip, we can see that good.
From what we can see of both wings, tops and leading edges, though, there's all those are fully intact.
Within minutes, an assessment is completed on the impact these missing tiles could have on the remainder of the mission. At a news conference later in the day, Flight Director Neil Hutchison answers questions from reporters.
But you asked me if I knew where there were any other tiles that might be loose. The answer is no. And quite frankly, we're not worried about any other tiles being loose.
At this writing, is there anything at all that would lead you to say you might not go for a full duration mission?
Nothing.
Columbia, Houston, you guys did so good, we're going to let you stay up there for a couple of days. Your gopher on orbit.
Spacecraft let's go for on orbit. This thing is just performing just outstanding.
Roger, we agree with that. And Columbia, Houston, just for your information, you dropped those SRBs right on target, and they were floating just the way they ought to be, and the boats were getting ready to fish them and bring them back.
Okay. The ride that they gave us was pretty neat.
The solid rocket boosters, which separated from the Columbia as planned 2 minutes 11 seconds into the flight, landed on target in the Atlantic Ocean, 151 miles downrange from the launch site. After being towed back to Kennedy Space Center, both boosters will be refurbished and used again in a future shuttle flight. The third and fourth OMS burns are also successful, raising Columbia's orbit to an altitude of approximately 172 miles. For the first television transmission from inside the spacecraft, the crew will give a status report on the mission.
The flight so far has gone as smooth as it could possibly go. We've done every test that we're supposed to do, and we're up on the timeline, and the vehicle has just been performing beautifully, much better than anyone ever expected to do on a first flight, and no systems are out of shape. And it's delightful up here in zero gravity, my dad. Of course, we owe this to a lot of people, and we certainly want to thank everyone who has helped get this thing airborne, and can take great pride in it's doing so well right now. Okay, we're switching over to the aft camera here. Yeah, I'd like to echo John's words as I usually do. I guess being the so-called rookie on this flight, I had a thrill from the moment of liftoff all the way up to what we're doing now. It's really been super. The spacecraft has worked as advertised all the way along. I think we've got something that's really going to mean something to the country and the world. This vehicle is performing like a champ, like all of us that have worked so long on it knew that you would.
Okay, sir, we appreciate those comments.
I guess that does it.
That was good timing. I think you must have practiced. We're just about to lose you a ghost song.
Just accident.
Just accident, says Robert Crippen. None of the other events of the day have been accidental. Every test, liftoff, SRB separation and recovery, ET separation and impact, 4 OMS burns, payload bay door latch opening and closing tests, radiator latch deploy and stowing tests have all been successful.
I guess we owe you guys one super attaboy for today. This is fantastic. You worked through a pretty long, hard day, and you're essentially right on schedule, which is going to be close to being a first sort of spaceflight biz, I think, for first day activities. It's sure been fun working with you today, and we look forward to seeing you in the morning. I hope you get a good night's rest.
Okay, you guys did super work today. See you mañana.
Roger, thank you. See you tomorrow, guys.
Well, many hours went into this thing. A job well done by the shuttle space team. We can't say she's sleek and lean, but I'll tell you right now, she's a mean machine. The Columbia, not the kind you smoke. This here's a bird.
Morning, Columbia. Welcome to day 2.
All right. Appreciate that super wake-up music this morning. Well, we sure enjoyed it. Missing a good breakfast.
Today, the astronauts will test onboard systems and also review procedures for tomorrow's landing. A test of the flight control system is conducted by John Young. The flight control system operates Columbia's aerosurfaces, the elevons, body flaps, rudder, and speed brake. These surfaces are useless in the vacuum of space, but will be essential tomorrow when the shuttle lands. This will require precision maneuverability, which the aerosurfaces provide. Payload bay door cycling tests help ensure that latching and closing procedures can also be done before entry tomorrow. As with every mission, many pictures of the Earth are taken by the astronauts. Over 500 on this first shuttle flight. Active volcanoes, cloud formations, alluvial fans, giant whirlpools over 15 miles in diameter, sand dunes 1,500 feet high, running unbroken for hundreds of miles. The high Himalayas, where mountain peaks reach 24,000 feet. And one of the most remarkable space photographs ever taken of the Earth, an area in Iran exposed to wind erosion, which has resulted in these breathtaking silt and sandstone formations that look more like a painting than a desert. After lunch on the second day, the astronauts receive a phone call from the Vice President of the United States, George Bush.
How's it going up there? Everything rocking along all right?
Spaceship is just performing beautifully.
Well, it's great, and everybody views it, I'm sure, just as the forerunner of great things to come. I think your trip is just going to ignite the excitement and the forward thinking from this country, so I really just wanted to call up and wish you the very best.
We certainly appreciate it, Mr. Vice President.
The crew also don and check out the ejection suits they will wear during entry. Young, Crippen, and Columbia pass every test. They are ready for the final phase of the mission, entry and landing. April 14th, 1981. NASA's Dryden Flight Research Center on the edge of Rogers Dry Lake Bed in California. A recovery convoy of 24 vehicles and more than 100 personnel are assembling here to power down Columbia after landing. Enormous crowds are also beginning to arrive. A string of traffic 6 miles long waits to enter the base. Thousands more are already here. Close to 500,000 people will eventually be on hand to see the landing. On board, the astronauts suit up for entry. The ascent and orbital phases of the mission have gone extremely well. Now the final phase must be completed. Before that begins,
Columbia, you have a go for payload bay door closing.
the doors, which have been open a total of 47 hours during the flight, must now be closed. Then, using the RCS thrusters, Columbia will maneuver into deorbit burn attitude, head down and backwards, fire the OMS engines one last time, and descend into the Earth's atmosphere.
Nice and easy does it, John. We're all riding with you.
Columbia is out of contact during the OMS burn. Mission Control will not know if this burn was successful until they are in communication with the spacecraft over Australia. It is now over the Indian Ocean on the other side of the world, but from that distance the burn must be precise so that later Columbia will hit the lake bed target in California.
Columbia, this is Houston through Yargady. We're standing by.
Burn was on time at nominal residual 110.
Columbia is now committed to entry. With an RCS post-burn maneuver and several firings, it is oriented to a heads-up, nose-first attitude headed toward entry interface. This is where the atmosphere begins, at approximately 400,000 feet. From that moment until the shuttle reaches 165,000 feet, it will be in communication blackout, out of touch with Mission Control for almost 20 minutes. The landing site is almost 4,400 miles from entry interface. Chase planes are preparing to take off. One will call out altitudes and check Columbia for any damage just prior to landing. When the shuttle touches down here, it will be traveling at 216 miles per hour. Right now it's going more than 17,000 miles per hour. Before it lands, it must slow down, lose energy, and it must survive the intense heat caused by traveling through the atmosphere at such a high rate of speed. Several S-turns or roll reversals are used to slow down and maneuver Columbia through the atmosphere. This one is done at 256,000 feet when it is traveling at more than 26 times the speed of sound. This one is done at 208,000 feet. During these two roll reversals, entry heating is most severe, with temperatures reaching 2,500 degrees some places on the vehicle. The aluminum skin will melt at 320 degrees. The silicate tiles must insulate the vehicle from the tremendous heat. Since there is no test facility on Earth to simulate the aerodynamic and structural environment Columbia is in right now, only calculations could be used to predict what would happen during this phase of the flight. The predictions and calculations had to be right.
Hello there, Houston, Columbia's here.
Hello, Columbia. Houston's here. How do you read?
Land clear, and we're doing Mach 10.3 at 180 AS.
And we couldn't agree more, John. Your state vector's good. We've got good data in-house.
Okay.
The entry trajectory, velocity, and position look good. Columbia is heading for home, now only 470 miles away.
More left RCS, but okay.
Right, we're showing a roll. And John, we're showing you rolling right. Looking good.
Right, normal roll.
We're showing him crossing the coastline flag.
Columbia, we show you crossing the coast now.
Right, yeah. We can come.
The shuttle is first sighted at about 100,000 feet with a long-range camera from Anderson Peak, California.
What a way to come to California.
In flight photo, I still look perfect, right on the nominal.
Roger that. Out of 112K, 4.8 Mach.
We're seeing this in a row.
We see Del as 21 degrees.
A roll reversal is done over Bakersfield, California.
Oh, that's beautiful. Chase has a tally. Roger, checking.
And we're seeing 1.3 Gs coming around the hack.
Roger that.
The astronauts are making the final turn to line up with the runway.
Columbia, you're really looking good. Right on the money. Right on the money. And turning on to final, your winds on the surface are calm.
Back on the wind.
You're right on the glide slope, Columbia.
Clear, John. Looks real good underneath. Everything looks real good.
Chase reports no tile or other damage is evident underneath the shuttle. Columbia's altitude is now just over 5,000 feet.
Pretty clear.
Without power, Columbia must land. It cannot make another attempt.
They're coming. You're down. Feet. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown. Those gears come. 5, 4, 3, touchdown. Hook it off, skipper. Columbia's on the roller.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful.
You'll have to take it up to hangar, Joe.
We're going to dust it off first.
This is the world's greatest all-electric flying machine, I'll tell you that. It was super.
Okay, convoy's on its way.
Convoy on. We'll stop on the Columbia. We'll stop.
The maiden voyage of Columbia has been a success. The astronauts and the vehicle have met or exceeded all 144 flight test objectives. The integrity of all the systems, propulsion, avionics, structural, flight control, power, and thermal, have been affirmed. John Young's comments after returning home.
I can't tell you what a tribute that is to the American working man and the American working woman, too. You can't imagine the variety of people who worked on this vehicle, from all walks of life, all capabilities and limitations. It's all due to their individual efforts. They proved that they can do the job. They proved it for the world to see. And I'm mighty proud to be associated with folks like that.
What a tribute indeed. The Columbia represents an achievement in aerospace technology and development never before realized in the history of manned spaceflight. It is our basic building block for the future.
It's what we've been trying to do for the last 10 years. We've got a vehicle with a payload performance that will allow us to do that, much cheaper than we've been able to do it before. It will immeasurably improve the defensive capability of the country. It will help develop space science and technology. When we get operational, the space shuttle will be able to do in 5 to 10 years what it would have taken us 20 to 30 years to do otherwise. We couldn't do it if we didn't have the space shuttle and that payload capability. And the sooner we do those things, the better off the country's going to be.
A revolutionary new era in space transportation has just begun. Routine access to space. Welcome to the future.
Sorry, I just gotta watch this. This is my favorite right here. Look at this shot. What a shot of Columbia.
Feet. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown. Those gears, 10. 5, 4, 3, touchdown. Look off, skipper.
See that thing, man?
Houston, Columbia's on the rollout.
On the rollout.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, Mufasa, you see how big that thing is? Yeah, I love these pictures, and I love showing this documentary. I've shown it many times. This one really drives home how big that thing is. Like that shot of John walking underneath the thing.
Represents an
Look.
achievement.
Yeah. Keep in mind, this is a telephoto lens, right? You can just tell from how far it is away, right? But, yeah, the shuttle's huge. It's bigger than you think it is. Like, your brain assigns a scale value to it. And it's always just a little bit bigger than what your perception of it, man. It's a freaking huge vehicle. I mean, when they say that it could put a school bus into space, it absolutely can. You could put a big rig in here, no problem.
In aerospace technology and development never before realized in the history of manned spaceflight. It is our basic building block for the future.
It's what we've been trying to do for the last 10 years. We've got a vehicle with a payload performance that will allow us to do that, much cheaper than we've been able to do it before. It will immeasurably improve the defensive capability of the country. It will help develop space science and technology. When we get operational, the space shuttle will be able to do in 5 to 10 years what it would have taken us 20 to 30.
Wait, what does Crip say when he gets off here? He says something to that guy. Why the windmill? Generate power.
Space science and technology.
What does Crip say here? Looks like he says, dang, boy, that was fun. Let's see. Laz, what's up, dude? What's the cargo capacity of Starship compared to the shuttle? Starship can carry 4 times the mass. Shuttle's 25. So Geek, the shuttle's 25,000 kilograms to space. So that's 52. No, it's like 55,000 pounds, something like that. Starship is like 200,000 pounds, something like that. What about size? Shuttle's payload bay is 15 feet wide, 45 feet long. So that's like 3 meters by 5 meters, give or take. Starship is 9 meters. 9 meters by like 20. 9 meters wide by 20. It's big. Big. Yeah, she's... I mean... Okay, so let me put it to you like this. Starship could put a Skylab inside of its payload bay. We did the math out. If you took the Apollo telescope mount off of Skylab and you just had from the docking adapter back to the waste tank back here, that can fit in Starship's payload bay. So is the Starship bigger than Saturn? It's taller, yeah. Taller, not wider. Saturn V was 10 meters wide. Starship is 9. How will Starship be loaded, though? Will it have big doors? Well, Miles, I've theorized this. We don't generally know what the payload systems are going to look like on that thing. But, honestly, the best... I'm convinced, and once again, this is EJ's personal opinion, so take this for what you will. I'm convinced that Starship is going to have payload bay doors that open like the shuttle. So, I know that the Starship renderings have the Pac-Man fairing, the Chomper fairing. But the Chomper fairing makes no sense for rapid integration. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You got to be able to put stuff in that thing quick. A chomper fairing doesn't make sense to me in the same way that if... So, like, picture a 737's cargo doors, right? What do? They open up. So the door gets out of the way, so you can just load cargo in fast, right? You put the ramp right up to the sill of the door. And the door, it's like they're like gull-wing doors, right? Starship needs a gull-wing door. So either that fairing has to open up from the top, which I don't think it will because there's a header tank in the way up there for... You can't really put a door mount there. And then doing that, opening it up in atmosphere is going to be really difficult. The best way to do it would be to have payload bay doors that open up like on the sides, like the shuttle. That would be the best way to do it. Genesis Starship is no joke. Yeah, exactly, Bob. So I firmly believe, and once again, I have no way to prove this. I have no way to kind of say like this is the right move or not. I think that Starship's going to have shuttle-style payload bay doors. You'd be... Every other way doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Doors that open like this, not like this. And then there was that Starship test article. Thomas, what was your last? Yeah, see, actually, the render by Max is, yeah, here. This render, see, I think the payload bay doors are going to look like that. Only I think I think the payload bay doors are going to go all the way back to about here, because that's where the bottom of the barrel segment is. And I think the front of the payload bay will be right around here. Right there. Because there's the header tank right here. You wouldn't want the payload bay going all the way to the front like what Bob said in chat. I think the payload bay is going to go from right around here all the way to about where the American flag is. And guys, that's not... That doesn't seem like a long payload bay, right? But you do some math out. That's a 9-meter payload bay, and then Starship is what, 50 meters tall, 55 meters tall? So you go from here to here, that's easily 20, that's a 20 meter payload, 20 meter payload bay. That's almost half of the vehicle. So like 27 would be half of the vehicle. So half of the vehicle would be from here up, right? So take a little bit off the top of the payload bay volume, right? You go from basically the stars on the American flag to halfway up the front control surface. That's a 20 meter by 9 meter payload bay. That's there's nothing that flies with that big of a payload bay. That's almost bigger than the shuttle's payload bay. It's wider than the shuttle's payload bay, and it's almost longer than the shuttle's payload bay. We gotta, once again, an important point to understand here is, here, let me go back in the documentary, right? Take a look. So you see the people walking around the shuttle, right? And you see this shot where John's like, dude, you see that, man? You see this thing? You did a good job. That was amazing. I'm going to shake your hand, sir. I'm going to shake your hand too. Guys, did you see this thing coming in, man? I flew the trash out of this thing, man. Oh, yeah, this is great. You know? He's just going around shaking everybody's hand. It's still funny to me. Freaking, so, okay, you see John Young next to the shuttle in this picture, right? And then if we go back here a little ways and you look at the shuttle with the external tank, right? You see the ET? Starship is as big as that external tank. The white ET, from here to basically where the engines are. That's how big Starship is. It's hard to kind of extrapolate that, but yeah, Geek, it's no joke, dude. It is no joke. 9x20 is almost as big as the space shuttle's payload bay. It's almost as long, and the space shuttle payload bay was long. Yeah, I mean, Starship's no joke, dude. It is not, like, that is the real deal. Lifter, man. If they can make that thing work, dude. Oh, man. Like, what John Young said at the end of that documentary, you know, measure the defensive capability of the country to help space science and technology. Like, that's, yo. Starship is what the shuttle basically should have been. That's basically what it should have been. It's gonna be nuts, dude. And Geek, that's why, so, like, consider what I just told you, right? And then consider this, like, the test flight footage. Once again, that's the size of the ET right there. Yeah, TJ, I know. Like, here, you know what? You know what? Let's get the recap video. We've watched it like 4 days in a row. You know what? I don't care. I mean, like I said, look at the dude. Look at that tile tech. I mean, this is a size that is very difficult to understand unless you go and see it. Last for the Starship Bay. Thank you. Once again, look at the dudes walking around down the bottom. I mean, that thing is on another scale of big. Wait, that size of that ET is going to be on top of the heavy booster, right? Okay. Watch till the end of this video. Oh, that shot makes me so happy every time, dude. Consider that. Did you see that thing flip? External tank. It's going on top of that, by the way. Like that. That's it. Yeah. Dude, this is... It's insane. Like, that's it. That's what the system is supposed to look like, dude. It is... It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, no, it's not... Like, I still can't believe that this is a thing. It blows my mind. That's why I watch it so closely. Because I have to pinch myself almost every day. And I don't even work with space. I'm not even part of this project. Like, that's the real deal, man. I mean, it's there. There it is. Let us integrate the orbiter with the external tank and put it on a Saturn V first stage. That's basically what you did here. Actually, it would be like putting it on 2 Saturn V first stages. How are they going to catch it on return? This thing. Go around. You can't go around when you're landing the booster. See how it has these big rails on the sides here? There's a track and there's a mechanism that slides up and down on the tower, and it has catcher arms. I know it sounds ridiculous. I don't blame you if I tell you that and you go, huh, they're gonna do what? What are they doing now? But yeah, the arms weren't mounted in that picture. Yeah. But yeah, Geek, this isn't like some, gimmicky thing, man. That thing's very real. That's some Chad energy right there. That's some real, welcome to the goodie room. Playa. Talking big Chad energy. Swinging down your knees. I agree, Katra, right? I personally believe one pad will catch the booster and the second pad Starship. That's not a bad idea. It's got some real chutzpah. Yeah, exactly. It's some real... You see that building falling from space? Yeah, we're going to catch that. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. It's just... Like I said, I have to pinch myself every time. Yeah, physics. Wait, that's illegal. Yeah, right? Did you see Rogozin tweet earlier? I added some dialogue. Let me see. I come teach you lesson. Nice. That's funny. Nice, Squish. You may want to start up Microsoft Flight Simulator if you haven't already. The Microsoft Store downloads a 500 megabyte update, and then then you can install the actual 30. It's been on this entire time, dude. What's the biggest thing ever dropped that was catched? Falcon 9 first stage, Gray. Well, I guess if we're talking about stuff that was caught out of the air by something else, Corona satellite films probably is the biggest thing that's come back from space that we've caught out of the air like that. Before digital satellites, right? You had an analog spy satellite, right? The analog spy satellite had film canisters in it, right? And when the film canister, when the satellite was done taking those pictures, right? It jettisoned the pictures in a little pod. So like it was a pod about, I don't know, maybe that could hold like a film canister. So like a basketball-sized pod. and that would come back down, and it would parachute, right? And they would go grab the thing with a helicopter or an airplane. Like, seriously, an airplane flies through has a tow cable, right? And the tow cable flies through the parachute rigging, and then it pulls the chute, and then that pod is just kind of flying out the back like a refueling boom, right? And then they just pull it in. Oh yeah, dude, there was some nutso stuff during the Cold War. Yeah, really, really crazy. Yeah, they do that with C-123s. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What'll happen if they miss the catch? Well, the arms. So, Gallad, that's what I was like. I was like, how you gonna? What if it misses? So I won't. No. The catcher arms are big. They're a big L shape, kind of like this, and they're on a singular pivot. So the arms can actually move like this. So if you're looking at that, like if the pad is right here, the arms can move over here, and they can move over here. So you can actually move the arms out to the right, and the booster won't be over the launch mount. So if it misses or if it crashes, it'll just hit the ground next to the pad. And I know that seems like, isn't that awfully close? Well, hey, close isn't hitting it, you know? You want to try to make a rapidly reusable system, you gotta kind of live with that difficulty. If it misses, clean up on aisle 7. Indeed. Super, what's up? I'm just thinking, the arms can only hold a nearly empty Super Heavy, right? So if for any reason SpaceX needed to land Super Heavy with more fuel, they can't. Well, it can hover. It could hover and just burn off the fuel, or they can dump the fuel, which is dangerous to do with a rocket while it's flying, but you can do it. Mm-hmm. Hired, what's that? And also, just the thing with the payload bay doors, guys. Check this out. Look. SpaceX did this to one of their prototype nose cones a little while back, and they said it was a Pathfinder. Mary took this picture. This was back in July, but look. That doesn't look like any chopper fairing that I've ever seen. I think that's what the payload bay doors are going to look like. But I think they're going to go a little bit further. I think they're going to go to here, to this bulkhead. So up here and turn. But look at the dudes comparatively to this volume right here. That's like 1,000 cubic meters or something. It's ridiculous. I'm concerned that Super Heavy's grid fins won't be able to hold. Are they that strong? Yep. They are. Guys, those things need to be able to handle hypersonic loads. Hypersonic aerodynamic loads. So what does that mean? They have to steer the booster through a nice big fire. Right? The plasma knife is hitting those grid fins. The plasma knife is hitting those grid fins when they're coming in. There's insane load being put on those things when you re-enter. That's why SpaceX made theirs out of titanium. Right? It also for the heating, right? With the regular steel, you should be okay. There's incredible lateral load.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Or not lateral load. It would be compression load on those grid fins when the thing is flying. It manifests itself on Falcon 9 with the grid fins kind of oscillating around. In reality, the air is pushing at those things so ridiculously hard that the grid fins want to bend back. Now think about it like this. All we're doing here, landing on the grid fins, is putting load on them. It's the same exact load as when it's flying through the air and the grid fins are turning. That aerodynamic drag that it's making puts a huge compression load on the grid fins. That's the same exact thing it's the same load that you'd get if you hung the booster from the grid fins. Same thing. It's a compression load. And if the hypersonic aerodynamic load of those grid fins is greater than the compression load exerted on the vehicle from gravity, if it was hanging from them, then they should be fine. I'm telling you, you could pick Falcon 9 up by its grid fins too if you really wanted to. That's how strong that system is, because of the loads endured. Hey, Close K, what's up? How's it going? It's going good. They are welded steel, yep. Mm-hmm. It should be able to just straight up withstand the re-entry, Thomas, because steel. Pretty much, Synerd. Yeah, there's a reason why one side of the grid fin is pointed and the other one isn't. We could put a better telescope than Hubble if Starship works. Actually, Elon talked about that in the National Academy of Sciences. He says SpaceX is working with UC Berkeley to make a Starship telescope variant. So think like... So NASA's SOFIA telescope, which is the infrared telescope that NASA built into the back of a 747 SP. Think about that with Starship. That's what they're trying to do. At least that's what Elon said. Oh, hired. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it'd be one of those, but in here. That would be pretty freaking cool. What are those? On the 747, it's a infrared telescope. You sure it's that and not a James Webb style mirror assembly put into Starship? No. No, you're misunderstanding. I don't know what type of telescope they'll put in. I'm talking about the mechanism. It's not going to be an infrared telescope. That's what we're talking about, mounting a telescope in the payload bay. I would suspect the booster dynamics are either better for entry with a large bow shock due to the forebody, or these grid fins are just prototypes and used due to ease of manufacturing like the original aluminum ones. I gotta read that one again. I would suspect the booster dynamics are either better for entry with a large bow shock due to the forebody, or these grid fins are... Yeah, okay. I mean, Rocket Guy, wouldn't that... I mean, it's a dynamic environment. It'd be entirely dependent on the speed, whether that plasma knife gets near those grid fins, yeah? Something like that, Lunprod. I don't think it'd be 9 meters, but it'd be something similar. Revril, what are you asking? Engines, what are those? Magnets. On the 747 or on Starship? 747s has... Those are not casual passenger plane engines. Yeah. Yeah, they are. They're old. They're JT9s. Old jet engines. Those are old turbofans. Yeah, the reason why it looks so bizarre by modern standards is because the JT9D was the first high bypass turbofan. It's a JT9. Oh, look, it auto-populated it. Nice. Yeah, see? That's why the cowl looks weird, because it's an old school engine design. But it was the first high bypass turbofan. It looks like a pod racer engine. Yep. Yeah, the JT9s all have that. See that cowl coming out the back? Yeah, that's just an old. They're just old engines because NASA doesn't get funding to buy the new ones. Funny story, actually. Those 747 engines that are on SOFIA actually came off of the shuttle carrier. They came off NASA N905. They came off of 905, which was NASA's 747 that was used for moving the shuttle around. Those guys. Because these NASA 747s are old. These were Dash 100s. They're very old planes. I did see something about using 747 engines to use for moving gas from oil to land. Yeah. Where is N905 now? Houston, Mission Control. It's right next to Johnson Space Center. In fact, there's a picture of it right here. It has a mock-up shuttle on top, but that's the real deal. And Sophia is a 747 special purpose. That's correct. Yep. Just shame seeing it like that. Oil drill in the middle of the sea, and then have a 747 engine pushing gas to land. Brakes, that wouldn't be the first time we've thought of using a jet engine to move fuel around. Or move liquids around. Every rocket engine does that. Almost every rocket engine. So like SpaceX's Raptor engines, or actually I'll use Merlin engines. Merlin engines make a little bit more sense. So you have your rocket engine, right, with the nozzle and, you know, the boom that comes out the bottom. Strapped to the side of it is a jet engine that's not designed to make thrust, right? It's a jet engine that has a fluid impeller on the top. It's called a turbo pump. Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time. Turbo pumps move a lot of fuel very, very quickly. They're one of the only mechanisms that we have to be able to deliver enough fuel to get a rocket engine to keep rocket engineing for a good amount of time. Yeah, there's no other fuel delivery system that's faster. However, there are some rocket motors that have electric motors attached to the pump instead, but that's only really able to be employed in small scale because you know, if you try to make it bigger, you'd need bigger batteries for it, and eventually it would be too heavy. What gas comes when you drill oil? Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, heck, oil rigs use a lot of oil rigs use heavy oil turbines for a power plant. They use jet engines. They use turbine electric engines for the power plants that run off bunker C because it's a byproduct, right? Yeah, I just pick a gas generator engine, Synerd. An F1 is a closed cycle gas generator. Merlin 1D is an open cycle gas generator. Like, how's this for an anachronism? Nuclear electric powered engine turbopump chemical engines. That'd be crazy. I did say that wrong. You get some gas when you drill oil in the middle of the sea, and there was a 747 that did push the gas many miles to land. Yeah, I'd believe it, dude. I'd believe you. I'm agreeing with you. No, yeah, that's a good idea. I like turbines. Turbines are the best. I think that is one of the best forms of generating power or generating mechanical work or generating thrust. It's one of the best ones. I'm not sure how it works. They literally take the jet engine. So, okay, I can explain to you how it works. That's not hard. And I'm not even familiar with the system, but I know exactly what they're doing. So, let's take a 747 engine. It's called the JT9D. That was the first bypass turbofan, okay? So, take a look. So, this is a turbo fan, right? See, turbofan engine. It's called a bypass turbofan because, or a high bypass turbofan would probably be the right way to say it. The reason why it's called a high bypass turbofan is because out of all the stuff that gets sucked into here, most of it bypasses the jet engine. It goes past it. Now why? Why would it do that? Well, inside of here, you have your jet engine. This is a turbojet right here. This part, the skinny part, that's a turbojet. It goes from about here to about here. What's a turbojet? Turbojet has compressor in the front, compressor into a funnel. You take the air, you suck it in, right? You compress the dang thing, you put it into a combustor, you light it on fire, spray some fuel, it blows up, and then it goes out the back, right? And then out the back, you have your turbine wheel. That that explosion of heat right there causes the gases, well, it expands, right? And it blows on these fans back here, and that fan turns the front compressor, right? Now, on a bypass turbo fan, right, you have multiple stages of turbines here. And two of them, the ones in the back, these guys out here, those are on a different axle. It's an axle that goes through the turbojet axle. So you have one axle, and then you have another axle riding inside of it like this, right? And that axle goes up, and it drives the fan. Hence, turbo fan. And the fan sucks in air and makes thrust, like a fan would, right? It's pretty basic stuff. And that's why most of the air, like 80% of the air going into this engine, gets bypassed. It goes around the jet engine because the jet engine only needs enough air to keep jet engineing, right? Most of the power that comes from this jet engine gets transmitted to the fan, and the fan can make a lot more thrust than this little jet engine. Turbofans. So what they did on the oil rigs, I bet you, they just took the fan off and they attached it to a pump. I'll bet you that's all they did. Took it and attached it to a water pump. There you go. I mean, jet engines are great at idling not idling, but they're great at just staying on and staying at high RPMs for very long periods of time. And because this is a 747 engine, you could be dang sure that this axle has a ton of torque to be able to keep a fluid impeller spinning. Dude, that's exactly what they did, Brakes. There's no other better way to do that. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. Jet engines make great pumps. Rocket engines have been doing that for years. It's a really good idea. Really good idea. Also pod racer engine, right? Am I right? Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Love digging into stuff like that, man. You know, who thinks of that? Oh, yeah, let's take the 747 engine and take the fan off and attach it to a pump, and we'll use that to move the fuel. All right. They needed to constantly spin and constantly pump because you need to generate in that pipe that goes back to shore from the oil rig. You need to generate what's called pressure head. Yeah, I know, it's funny saying that. You need to have a good head going in the pipe because you can flow it in the pipe, but if you want to flow at pressure, you can accelerate the liquids faster, right? You can accelerate them through the pipe faster if it's pressurized. So that pressurization is called pipe head. You gotta keep head in the pipe. I like persons that know stuff. Hell yeah, man. I love engineering. I love stuff like that, dude. Hey, let's take that 747 engine and make it into a fuel pump. All right. Okay, sure, why not? That's why I like SpaceX, because they do stuff like that. It's cool. Like, I'm pretty dang sure that SpaceX on their launch pad, on Starship's launch pad, they have oil rig parts on there. I'm pretty sure the pulley mechanism that's making that they're for the crane that they're going to use to put the booster on the pad and stuff, it's all oil rig parts. And the reason why I know it's oil rig parts is because SpaceX bought 2 oil rigs and scrapped all the drilling equipment. It's a pulley from an oil derrick. It's pretty straightforward. It's cool, man. I love that stuff. I love reading about that. Here, guys, we got a new video. It's only 20 seconds, but it's coming from Relativity. Yeah, Synerd. Interesting. Pardon my English. I try my best. Brakes, if you hadn't told me that English wasn't your first language, I wouldn't have even known. So, you're fine. Here, want to see something crazy, Brakes? Look at this. Relativity. This is a company out of Long Beach, California. Relativity is working on 3D printing rocket fuel tanks and rocket engines. High bypass turbofans implies that there's low bypass turbofans. Is there such a thing? Absolutely, Baz. Yep. Yeah, see that? 3D printing a freaking fuel tank. That's a thing that exists. How do you even do that? So basically, fellas, what's going on here is this is just a welder. It's just a welder on a spinning jig, and it just lays down weld. And just builds the tank. It's freaking ridiculous. You wouldn't download a fuel tank. It's just laying weld. You can see the bead. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's a little more complicated than that, but that's the general gist of it, which is unbelievable to me. Yeah, Relativity is trying to... They just released that video a second ago. Relativity is trying to reduce the cost of rockets by 3D printing them, which is unbelievable. Now I want to 3D print a rocket. You wouldn't download a rocket. Knowing you guys, yeah, you absolutely would. Yeah, knowing you guys. Print them on orbit. Bingo, Kumo. That's their end goal. That's their stated end goal. They want to work on in-space manufacturing. You got it, dude. Yeah, good call. Hey, Tessa, are you here? Is Tessa here? Please tell me that Tessa's here. Tessa, are you here? Because I got McVitie's, dog. What do you mean by that? Oh, I absolutely would, Rocket Guy. I'm not gonna... Tastes good. Anyway, what is that? They call them digestives. Okay, they are digestives. In reality, it's a graham cracker with chocolate on it. Hope they're not stale. I just bought them. Schmelting in space is a skill we need. Yep. Chocolate ones are good dunkers. Hell yeah. Yeah. I can see how that would taste good with tea, but I'm not drinking tea. Tea belongs in the harbor. Yep. Engines, huh? Ancient Chinese secret, huh? What do you got here? What's Tommy up to? They dunk well in coffee, too? Drummer, that's inappropriate. Do they? This is what a donut is for, dude. Alright. We've dunked in the coffee. That was good. That was really good. Yeah, no, good call. That was delicious, actually. That tasted a lot better than I thought it would. Coffee usually doesn't go good with much. Huh. I'm impressed. All right. So, what's Tom Mueller up to? Thomas, let's see what we got. Impulse space propulsion. Bro. Look at this little baby. Look at that. Rocket Guy. Look at... Yeah. I mean, actually, plain donuts. Seriously. Take a plain donut. Just a regular donut, and then dunk that in coffee. It's actually really good. Yeah, you're not wrong. Look at the Rocket. Look at the little baby engine. So, okay, guys, Tom Mueller posted this. I should probably follow him. Tom Mueller is He's the chief technical officer at Impulse Space right now, but Tom Mueller is pretty renowned in the industry. He's the guy that invented the Merlin 1D, Falcon 9's engines. Yeah, he designed them. So, if he's tweeting about an engine that he says is a good engine, I believe it. Yeah, covered this yesterday. It's crazy how fast they move. Impulse started as a company at the end of this summer. He helped design the Raptor, Tomast, yeah. Rocket guy, is this methane? Alright, let's read. Economical and agile last mile space payload delivery. Space is more accessible than ever, but efficiently moving payloads into higher energy orbits remains a challenge. At Impulse Space, oh, he's making satellite engines, payload engines. So Tom's working on basically something that SpaceX never bothered to work on. SpaceX never bothered working on. They make first stage, second stage engines. They never made satellite propulsion. That's what he's trying to do now. Yeah, kick stage stuff, Altio, indeed. Yeah, no, this video is. I mean, look at that. That's cherry right there. That's really nice. Really, 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 really nice. Yeah, look at that plume, Tessa. That plume's very crisp. Very nice. Yeah, he's trying to SpaceX satellite propulsion, rocket guy. That's probably why he started Impulse and left SpaceX. So what is this thing using? It's using nitrous? Yes! Nitrous and ethane stored as liquids. Oh, that's cool! It's got NOS. He got enough NOS in there to blow himself up, period. So, Rocket Guy, this looks like a, it's pressure fed, no doubt. Yeah, Hibbit, that's probably right. Yeah, it's a pressure. That looks like a pressure-fed engine. So it's very simple. Pressure-fed. So basically, you use the pressure in the fuel tanks, and when you depress the fuel tanks, that's what feeds the engine. That means you need. It's not like they're gonna attach a bunch of nitrous bottles to the side of whatever this thing is. You're gonna need nitrous in a COPV to do something like that. Because, Rocket Guy, doesn't the inlet pressure needs to be higher than the chamber pressure. So, those COPV is the only solution there. I mean, that... You know, like I said, you're not going to see a bunch of NOS tanks attached to the side. Don't call it NOS either. NOS is a singer. It's NOS, nitrous oxide. NOS is a company. That's clown shoes, man. Don't call it that. You got enough NOS in there to blow himself up, period. Yeah, exactly, Tessa. Mm-hmm. I bet he lives his life a quarter orbit at a time. For those 10 seconds or less. Or no, quarter of an orbit. For those 20 minutes or less, I'm free. It'd be interesting to see where they fall into things, as they are competing with 4 to 5 other service platforms and are already operating or about to operate. Yeah, I mean, Rocket Guy, the first thing that comes to mind is the Curie engines from Rocket Lab, right? Like, about that orbit, when will we have so much space debris on orbit that we can't go to space? It could happen, Breaks, but not right now. Maybe soon, and if we don't pull our head out of our tail, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's big. Yeah, I mean, what 3D print process are they using? That looks like a laser sinterer. Well, not just the engines. They are providing the space tug service for satellites. They are starting with the engines for VC funding, most likely. Sounds right. Laser Centaur? No, Laser Sinter. S-I-N-T-E-R. Sinter. Not Flavagodum. Everything on orbit is going fast, Breaks. Yeah, everything. Laser Centaur would be a good 80s synth pop band name. Agreed. 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 I'm a firing my laser. Yeah, I'm gonna play Flight Sim tonight, guys. I'm updating the game right now. I haven't played in a little while, so we're almost there. By the end of Space News, we'll be good. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let me look around and see what else is going on in the industry here. %. Nice. Will we be good for Minecraft tomorrow? Tiggs, I can't stream in the afternoon tomorrow. I'll be back for racing. I got a family event to do. But I'm going to try to get up in the morning and play some Minecraft, and then I got to go. Speaking of that. Already covered this. Dream Chaser stuff. Yes. It truly was the good old days. Got it, that works. Family's important. Yeah, so that's why I've been doing like big streams this entire week, so you know people have enough content. But I'll probably end up streaming on Monday too. So maybe we could do some early Minecraft or something on Monday. Maybe, I don't know. No guarantees. All right, let's see. What do we have here? I spoke to Sierra Space CEO Tom Weiss about the company's mammoth $1.4 billion raise and got an update on its scheduled targets. Dream Chaser Cargo debut, Q4 2022. Dream Chaser Crew debut, 2025. Orbital Reef operation, 2027. Alright, drummer. Hey, Battle Rock. So, yeah. Once again, fellas, I'm only going to really be there for, like, Minecraft tomorrow, and that's about it. And then I gotta go. Q4 2022. What's Orbital Reef? A commercial space station that's being developed by Blue Origin, Sierra Space, and Boeing. So, space station for commercial purposes. Think of it like an office building in space. You can do whatever you want. It's kind of cool. Orbital Reef is neat. Sierra Space plans to use about 2/3 of their new funding for accelerating Dream Chaser development, and the final third for space destinations, with Orbital Reef now the centerpiece of that production line. Sierra Space is also looking at creating a specialized variant of Dream Chaser for national security missions, potentially similar to how Boeing's X-37 spaceplane is used by the Air Force. Interesting. And that reporting was done by Mike Sheets there over at CNBC. He's good. Mike's a good reporter. Have you seen that Aerospike engine I linked a few days ago? The water Aerospike engine shooker? Yeah, we watched that on the news yesterday. We watched that for Space News yesterday. They're putting together a new booster there.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Oh, Burbs, what's going on? JavaScript, how are you? Wait, JavaScript, I got a question. Were you the JavaScript that was here like 3 or 4 years ago? Because there used to be... Born in 95. Oh, okay. Well, no, there was a viewer in here from a long time ago named JavaScript that was in stream. Long time ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. I'm just wondering if you're the same JavaScript. Because people come back after a while, which is strange. Never thought that would happen. Could be cool to be an astronaut. Yeah. Maybe my brother TypeScript. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, cool. Good to see you. How are you? Nice. Took me a second. Got him. Yeah, look at that. The unspecified DoD uses for Dream Chaser sound very juicy. Yep. Last link, forgot the tag. Alright. Phil, I got your link, and then, yeah, the X-37 style has a payload bay door. That's very strange. Guys, look at this. We'll check the booster stacking back in a second here. That's very weird. Dang, do you have an eidetic memory? I mean, Catfish, not particularly. I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, I've said that I have in the past, but like I've never gotten like tested for that or anything. But I can remember things. I'm pretty damn good at remembering things. I mean, that's why I like, once again, like, I think it's important to understand that all this stuff, all the spaceflight stuff that we talk about, I make sure to look at the camera, hence the crazy eye view. Crazy eye view is me showing you that I'm not reading notes. I don't have like a cheat sheet. All of this is off the top of my head. Every single bit of information, unless you see me Google it on the screen. I'm very, very particular about that. Yeah, I don't do teleprompters or anything. There's a blank wall. I do have 3 things written on the wall, though, for what it's worth. I have 3 kind of placards or 3 things on my wall that says stay humble, discipline, and taking ownership. If you know what those are, you know what those are. If you know, or you know where that comes from. Yeah, I have them hung up on my wall there. Live, laugh, love. Yep. No, it's kind of a creed that I picked up that really... It helps build character, I guess, is what I'll say. Yeah. A Sloss article about the A2 Orion. Right on. Hey, Novus. Were you here? I kind of feel awkward asking. Were you here when I covered that Artemis update from Bill? I'll be honest, I didn't have a lot of good things to say. And yeah. I don't remember. Right. No, you would have remembered this. When they did that update, basically bumping Artemis 3, I got a little mad, and I didn't have anything particularly good to say. So, yeah, I was wondering, yeah, it's probably, don't watch that VOD. Just don't do that. Anyway, we'll jump into that A2 article in a second. Man. Yeah, I got a little mad. Anyway, we'll read what's going on with SLS in a moment. What's this next thing coming in? U.S. Court of Federal Claims releases its opinion on the Blue Origin HLS lawsuit ruling, saying that the company does not have standing because it did not have a substantial chance of an award. Whoa. Are you sure this is Court of Federal Claims? I thought, dude, from that saying, it looks like Court of Federal Destroying Things. Jesus. Court of Federal Burns. Damn, dude. Damn. Court of Federal Burn Department. Holy crap. Was that written by Elon? I don't know. The court finds Blue Origin does not have standing because it did not have a substantial chance of an award for the alleged evaluation. Oh, well, that changes that sentence a little bit. Yeah, I got you, Thomas. All right, W. This thing for Flight Simulator. Oh, Bing Maps. Bing Chilling Maps. Okay, you guys got a lot of links. Oh, that's cool. We'll be looking at that. No, it doesn't. Okay. Hey, Riverin, what's up? Just got off work. How's it going? Is Aster still going to try for their launch tonight? Yeah, and of course it's during racing. I'll double box it if we have to, dudes. But yeah. Well, you live and you learn. If you weren't happy with your reaction. Well, I certainly appreciate that. Yeah, I got a little annoyed. But anyway, let's see what we got. Blue Origin did not have standing because it did not have a substantial chance of award but for the alleged evaluation errors. Its proposal was priced well above NASA's available funding and was itself non-compliant. Blue Origin argues that it would have submitted an alternate proposal, but the court finds its hypothetical proposal to be speculative and unsupported by the record. Wow. Wow. Whoa. That's hilarious, Bandit. I love it. God damn, dude. Court of Federal Claims plays no freaking... There's no chill. So... Damn. Even if Blue Origin had standing and its objections were not waived, the court finds that it would lose on merit. What the frick, bro? Yo, stop. He's already dead. Oh my goodness. Bro. Damn. No, so, okay. What does that mean? So, Blue Origin said, you can't just give it to SpaceX. You said you were going to choose two. You said you were going to choose two people for the lander. And NASA said, look, we changed the deal like 6 months ago, man. We changed the wording for the contract proposal like 6 months ago. Where were you? And Blue's like, you can't do that. You can't change the wording. You can't change the rules halfway through the game. And NASA's like, of course we can. We're NASA. Duh. And Blue said, well, if I'd known the rules were changed, I would have changed my bid. And then they took that to the Court of Federal Claims, and Court of Federal Claims is basically saying, look, your revised proposal isn't on the record. We can't say that you would have been able to bid less. Sorry. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Blue kind of got screwed there, like just a little bit. Don't change, you're an awesome person. Well, thanks, Breaks. I appreciate it. It just got Blue got burned a little bit, but the Office of Investigator General concluded that it's not NASA's job to tell people that they changed the rules. NASA has no obligation legally to tell someone that they changed the rules for their contract criteria. They don't need to do dick. Blue Origin took that to court too. They protested and said, hey, you got to tell us. You can't change the rules and not tell us. And NASA said, yeah, we can. We're NASA. We're the government. Of course, we make the rules. We can change them. And Blue said, no, that's bullcrap. That's not fair. And they proceeded to get shut down in the OIG and now in the Court of Federal Claims too. Man, I kind of feel bad. Like they did kind of get screwed, but also at the same time, if you're bidding on a contract, I would watch that contract like a hawk because you never know if it's going to change. That tells me that Blue, for all their resources and that whole national team lander, for everything that was involved with that, you telling me nobody bothered to go and look at the contract? Like nobody noticed that NASA changed the contract? Like
Discovery, go at throttle up.
They tried to highball taxpayer money. I don't feel bad for them at all. That is certainly a way to look at that, yeah. And I'm pretty much with you on that one. Well, if we had known you changed the rules, we wouldn't have bid as much. It's like, so you overbid. Okay. Maybe it went into the newsletters folder. Well, if NASA didn't tell Blue, they didn't tell SpaceX either. Well, that's what Blue tried to figure out, if they did tell SpaceX, because that would have made a conflict of interest. And that's why it was such a big deal. They didn't. Somebody at SpaceX just watches the contracts like a hawk. Whoever works at SpaceX Legal is eagle-eyed, man. Apparently there was also a follow-up tweet saying that Blue Origin had a lander idea exactly like SpaceX, but were holding it for some reason. Wait, what? While the proposed milestone payments are redacted, the court notes that Blue Origin's lunar lander proposal asked for more than triple of the $345 million that NASA said would be available for fiscal year 2021, meaning the company asked for $1 billion in the first. Okay, Kimir, I got it. Dude. $1 billion in the first year for the first year of funding for a project is like SLS, if you're trying to build something like that. And don't get me wrong, lunar landers are very complicated. It's not an easy thing to do, but $1 billion? Yeah, Bauxy, I saw your last when I said it out loud. Yeah, no, I got you. This was the tweet. This one story. Now, you guys have linked it 5 times. All right, okay, so what do you want me to see? Oh my goodness. Well, remember, the national team has to fund 4 elements across 4 major companies. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. All right, let's see. Okie gifted a sub to Tan. There we go. The court calls out Blue Origin for pivoting after the GAO decision. Oh, it wasn't OIG, it was GAO. Sorry, I got that wrong. As the company said it would have submitted a more affordable single-element integrated lander like Starship that utilized a similar strategy and a large number of launches, low Earth orbit rendezvous, and a propellant depot. Blue Origin would have proposed a large number of launches and low Earth orbit rendezvous events, allowing for the incorporation of elements such as a propellant depot in low Earth orbit to be refueled by multiple launches. The details of Blue Origin's alternative approach are unclear, as is the precise nature of what Blue Origin would have proposed. Blue Origin has not submitted any contemporaneous documentary evidence to support its allegations of its alternative architecture. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. Dish, that certainly seems... I don't think that's an inadvertent thing, dude. If I had to guess, they probably bid a high bid like that because, what Rocket Guy said, you're 4 companies making 4 different elements of the lander. That's going to require a lot of extra funds to get all that stuff to work together. But they also want to make some money off the contract on top of that. The technical complexity of that, of a national team lander like that, coupled with, standard, oh, well, we got to make our piece, right? Yeah. Oops. Did I hear what Bernie Sanders said about SpaceX and Amazon going to the moon? Oh, boy. No. 4 elements, 4 companies in less than 4 years, with a total being $5.8 billion. 5.8 bill. Rocket Guy, let me think about that. So we got 5.8 billion total over 4 years for a demonstration mission and a crew landing on crew with Artemis 3, right? Like, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's not... Yeah, the price tag's a little bit high, but that's not the worst. But that's... I mean, I'm thinking about the funding scale. If the... So you have $1 billion in the first year, right? Projected, like that's what if they had gotten funded, $1 billion in the first year. So now you have $4.8 billion left for the next 3 years. So, like any other NASA program, for funding, you would probably be on a bell curve. So what are you doing? You asking for $2 billion next year? And then $1 billion the year after that, and then the rest over the next 2 years for operations for 2 missions? I would be more on board with that if it was not just for a demonstration mission. If this was like a block buy of lunar landers, then $5.8 billion makes a lot more sense. When you're competing with SpaceX, it's bad. Yeah, I suppose. The national team had a very robust testing procedure, didn't they? Focusing on single element tests before the all-up test. Yeah, about 3 years. It is a 4-year timescale, but the last 6 to 8 months would be the final system integration. Yeah. How did that stew turn out? Do you want me to show you? What did the Burns say? I don't know. Ooh, dish. I mean, Apollo, I'm not sure I should share. Okay, DM it to Drummer and then DM it to me. To be fair, we don't know how much SpaceX is putting up of their own for their first year. It could be as much as Blue Origin asked for in their first year. Novus, one of the lessons that I try to teach people here, and you know this, dude, you know, that, look, the only thing that's going to get the price down is economy of scale. It honestly does not matter if the rocket is expendable or reusable. Economy of scale is the only way to get that price down. That's the only way to do it. You're not going to beat that problem otherwise. The only reason why everyone can afford a car is because they make a lot of cars. The profit margins for operating an automobile in business is not very high. In fact, what some companies do is they sell cars at a loss on purpose just for brand recognition. Corvette, Mustang, Veyron, Chiron, Murcielago. See what I'm talking about? So, you're right. I mean, the difference in this contract is that NASA added the Appendix H to Next Step for the HLS program, right? I think it was Appendix H. And that said that you could fund this with your private... if you come up with a bidding plan where you privately fund the lander, we'll consider it. And that's what SpaceX did, and that's why they underbid everybody. Novus, I'd be willing to bet that SpaceX's proposal is probably, if you looked at, like, if we had full access to SpaceX's books, it would probably be about the same, maybe even a little bit more. But, once again, within the confines of the criteria for the contract, that doesn't mean crap, you know? But at the end of the day, it's zero-sum game. It's going to cost $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion to make any type of lunar lander right now, because there's no market for it. There's nothing. There's nothing that exists like that. There's been two designs that in the past that have been designed, and one of them implemented, the other one fiery, that have been designed to land people on the moon. That's it. You see the SNC news? Yeah, I just looked at it, and man, they're gonna push back their timetables again, but it's okay. But yeah, that's an important thing to understand. Yeah, serious, right? Yeah. Billy Cat, what's up, man? Hey, I want to bet that SpaceX lands humans on the moon with Starship before everybody else. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, a $1.4 billion investment is quite good. Cool. All right, let me see, Apollo. Let me take a look. Huh. Interesting, Apollo. My Summer Flight Simulator. Nice, Lumberjack. Let me check the patching for it. We still got another 20 gigs to go. Okay, what did he say? Fellas, like, I can tell by chat that there doesn't seem to be a lot of fans in there, but here's what he said. He says, it's not acceptable that the two wealthiest people in this country, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, take control of our space efforts to return to the moon. This is not something for two billionaires to be directing. Screw me, I agree with him. Like, it's gonna sound so stupid. I agree with him, but not for the same reasons that he does. I've always said that you need to have a nice, healthy, robust national space program to complement your commercial space program. That gives a form of checks and balances, similar to, like, because NASA can offer things that a corporation couldn't, even SpaceX. NASA's scientific research is the real bread and butter there. Just like how the post office technically does the same thing as FedEx, right? But they offer services that FedEx doesn't. You know what I mean? There's stuff you can do at a post office that you can't do at a FedEx. But they're redundant capabilities. But that's what keeps the commercial shipping and logistics industry going correctly. You know what I mean? It's very important for that to be a thing. You need to have redundant programs. So, like, I think he's right that, you know, I don't want the entire space program to be pawned off to corporations. But I don't agree with them for the reason why. I think Elon and Jeff should keep going into space, but NASA should as well, you know? It's not a bad thing to, that's, like I said, I agree with him, but not for the same reasons, you know, which is strange. That's very strange. Could be weirder, though. I mean, like I said, I've always said that NASA should have their own, like, we should have NASA building out SLS, more SLS, not less. Because there needs, like, let me put it to you like this. Do you want a corporation being the only one that has access to the surface of the moon? Even if it is SpaceX, and I love SpaceX, and no, I don't think in a million years they would ever do this. What a world to be in where it's not just governments with access to space. Yep. Yeah, Sobs. Yeah, I mean, but he's on the... I forgive me for presuming, but I'm pretty sure he's saying that because he wants to tax people that are wealthy, right? That's why he's saying it. If I'm interpreting that correctly. Kim Jong-un. I don't know, dude. Like, I don't want to chime in on that. I'm pretty sure that's why he's saying it, you know? Like, but SpaceX McGregor just did a 30-second burn-in. Oh, right on, Alex. And once again, I'm just like, dude, with the Rule 8 stuff, with the political stuff, I don't freaking know. But I think he's right that corporations shouldn't be the only one, shouldn't be directing the space program. I think that's a bad idea. Bugs EJ with his Rule 8 stick. What? I didn't say anything wrong. I don't talk bad about people in Mana, except Eric Berger. Like, I really rip into that guy, but I generally don't rip into anyone. It's a futile exercise. It's a waste of time. Yeah, that would be great, Yarg. That'd be really good. But NASA needs direction. It doesn't necessarily need funding. That's the thing, you know? Yeah, exactly, Lumberjack. Mm-hmm. Have you ever read any Andy Weir? Of course, Evil Bit. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm getting family stuff figured out for tomorrow, dudes. Nice, Dread. Anyway, the sad thing that space programs are often targets of people's anger. Well, it's not that big of a budget. Yeah, Pink, I've always said that. If you're concerned about spending and you go barking up NASA's tree, yeah, that tells me that you do that because people do that because NASA's an easy target. It's an easy target. That's why. Because there's other things that we spend money on that people don't want to upset anybody. You know what I mean? So they end up NASA gets a bullseye painted on its back, which pisses me off. That's really annoying. But hey, it is what it is. This conversation about the moon reminded me of Artemis. Yeah. I've read The Martian evil bit. I haven't read Artemis. There is another one, too. Hail Mary or something? Alright. That's okay. The MIB support NASA. Sure. Anyway. Yeah. Alright, so here. Let's check out the next thing here. What else do we got? What's up with tomorrow? I'll be here for racing, guys, and I'll be here for Minecraft in the morning. Yeah, Space News in mid-hours. I have a family thing that I got voluntold to go to. So, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Hail Mary is the best, then The Martian, then Artemis. Artemis is honestly the worst of the three by a long, long mile. Yep. This is awesome, okay. Whoa. That's cool. Neat. I know that, yeah, Tan, it is what it is. It's not going to be the worst thing. Hey, Fosiris, what's up? Cheers. How you doing? Alright. So, Goalie, what is this? Superb computational fluid dynamics visualization of supersonic parachute deployment at Mach 2 from NASA's supercomputers. These simulations are wildly complex because the deformation of the parachute structure has to be simulated as well as the fluid dynamics. Dude, that's rad. Wow, that's a freaking simulation of a parachute deploying. That's pretty cool. Wow. Hypersonic flow simulation. That's unreal, dude. So, this blue is the parachute. Oh, that's so legit, dude. Look at that. Look at how the boundary layers. Oh my goodness, that's cool. Look, you got multiple boundary layers, right? When the parachute first deploys because you're going Mach 2, right? And then when the parachutes unfurl, they all end up coplanar with each other. And then as the parachutes unfurls even more, the theta of the boundary layer changes, which is freaking cool, man. And you can see the parachute is creating a lot of low pressure right here. A lot of drag. But the parachute has a hole in the center for stabilization. See the pressure difference right there? That's a force that's pulling this way. And it actually acts as a stabilizer, like the stabilizers on an airplane. Same thing. Look, there's a reply with another video. That's really cool. Oh, that's so cool. Let's see. There's seriously so much going on here. Deforming flexible parachute, supersonic flow, wave structures galore. Yep. Highly separated turbulent wake region. Separated means low pressure air. That's what all this is right here. See all the blue? And they even simulated the payload upstream. Oh. Yeah, that's pretty righteous, man. So check this out. You guys want to see something? There's some cool stuff to understand here. So the air is getting forced into the parachute, right? It's getting forced into here. And the air inside of the parachute, the air coming in, so to speak, to the parachute is nowhere near as much as the air coming out. That creates a ton of turbulent flow. So separated flow right here. That means drag. That's drag, and that's what drag looks like in visual form in aerodynamics, right? The crazy part is because all that air is getting compressed inside of this, and some of it's being shot out the top for stabilization, right? It creates a cushion. The air has no place to go, so it just stays inside of the parachute. And that's why your initial outer layer is well below the actual parachute, because this is where oncoming air is hitting that air that's in here that's fully compressed, well, not fully compressed, but at a much higher pressure. And it ends up just hitting kind of a pile of air, and it just shoots off to the side, which is really freaking cool. And then on top of that, where the actual physical parachute structure starts, you see another layer. Basically, the air is hitting this and getting deflected off to the side because of that pocket of air, which is really cool. Click on it, the airflow. Click on the link that tweet airflow. Okay. I don't know if that was a sentence, but all right. Ah, yes, the parachute is creating noodles. Oh my goodness. Look at drag from the initial payload right there. See? It's a vortex. It's creating a tiny bit of drag, and that drag is swirling around. And then that drag goes right into the parachute. Man, that's ridiculous. Shall note the pressure differential between the outside of the back of the fairing, where there's separated airflow, towards comparatively to the inside. See the pressure differences? So guys, blue in this simulation is low pressure, and red or lighter colors, right, warmer colors, are high pressure. Dropping off. Have a nice evening. All right, K-Mare, see ya. The other picture. That cushion of air is what gets me, dude. That's so ridiculous. I mean, it's not. This is pretty basic aerodynamics here. Well, hypersonics, if you want to be technical. That's wild stuff, man. That's absolutely wild. Yeah, see? Look. So the air is getting compressed up against the edge of the parachute, and that cushion that I was telling you about, the air gets forced off to the side. And when it gets forced off to the side, right, you get extremely low pressure right here. Look at that. Look at on the side of the fairing. It's almost vacuum in there. And then that's why they have this relief in here. That's crazy, dude. Neat visualization of the satellite debris cloud. Oh, okay. That's great visualization. Cool. That's really cool, Goalie. I want the YouTube version. I don't know Supercraft off the top of my head, but it's still pretty, that's pretty damn good simulation. For frick's sake, man. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, those are the supercomputers at Ames Research. That's cool, Goalie. Good stuff. Alright, let's see what's going on with the Starship videos, guys. You see Dune? Thoughts? I thought it was cool, Admana. Hope someone can figure out a space garbage collector in the next decade. I got one right here. Actually, let's see if there's a new Starship video today. Let's take a look-see. Okay, yeah, we got a new one. This footage is coming from our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight, who are very, very kind and awesome and totally not fat. And they gave us this footage here. They let us look at this footage here on the stream. So, sure to go over to the NASA Spaceflight over on YouTube and give them a subscription if you could. Or buy a mug or a shirt. One hop shirts are my favorite. But, yeah, let's see what we got. This footage was shot by Mary, Boca Chica Gal, and Nick and Sweeney, too, in there. Let's see what we got on today's docket.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
2020, hey man, how's things been? Good. How's your garden going, man? Looks like it's got a little overcast down there. Anyway, I'm gonna enjoy a biscuit. I'll be right back. Hi. So it doesn't look like we've seen much progress here just yet. That new methane feed line station on the landing pad is there. Tony, you need to tell me, you got your first job. Been at it for 2 weeks now and loving it so far. Also working on my final project and have the prototype almost done. It's due when I graduate. Good, man. What's with the mud? It looks like it just rained, so. Crane. No, we need to call 1337. Probably not brakes, no. Yeah, Kuro, that's fine. Alright, there's the orbital mount. I mean, guys are going ham on this thing, dude. I got it, Catfish. I got it. I got your number on the wall. See, fellas, these... Of course it changed frames. These panels right here, I'm wondering if those are going to be covered or something. Is there going to be like a awning or something over these? Because those are going to get messed up in the elements over time. Aren't they going bacon on it? Because we need the bacon for breakfast, Jim, obviously. Working maintenance at the college as an intern, applying my college major and getting paid to do so. Good. Cool. Very nice, eh? This thing is looking more and more completed every day. Do you think those black pipes under the access platform are for water suppression? Let me take a look. That one? Yeah. Or those guys. I think both, Mom. Here, let's go to the close-up shot. Yeah, that's a water pipe right there. Actually, nope. No, it's insulated. That's a fuel line. The fuel line probably goes up and around and over to the disconnect. The one in the foreground, this one. Non-insulated pipe. Yeah, most likely water. I'm not sure what that test tank is doing, but... Will they potentially use the same heat shield on a Martian Starship version as one on Earth? If it works on Earth, it'll work on Mars, Salkowski, yeah. Hitting Mars's atmosphere from Earth escape velocity is very similar to hitting Earth's atmosphere from low Earth orbit. It's close. So Mars doesn't have a thick atmosphere, right? But if you're hitting that thin atmosphere going 25,000 miles an hour, well then you need a heat shield. The crazy thing is that if we were landing something on Mars from low Mars orbit, wouldn't need a heat shield. You don't need that. No. Yeah, your entry effects will be very minimal. Yeah, that's right, Gone. I know. What altitude comparison is Mars to Earth? I forget off the top of my head, Kuro, but Mars is in a substantially higher... Well, not substantially on a solar system scale. It's a little bit higher than us. What about aero control? The engine will do more work for the flip maneuver than on Earth. I mean, Supercraft, 15 degrees of gimbal, it really doesn't matter. The atmosphere. Starship could land like that on the moon and it would be just fine. It could do that flip and burn on the moon, it really wouldn't matter. Burbs. Yeah, and it has RCS, the hot gas thrusters, Trog, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I did, Barak. They got the booster back, but they didn't really get us many pictures. They just showed a picture of their logo on the booster, and that's about it. It was successful, but I haven't heard much. Yeah, exactly. They did get it back. Liquid nitrogen delivered to the suborbital tank farm. You can tell that that tank holds 60,000 liters because of the way it is. You would need more power in the thrusters to land on Mars? No. Mars has less gravity, a less gravitational pull than Earth does. I think it's a third of Earth gravity, so no, not really. A little skid steer right there. Of course, Kafflish. Yeah, with a rock hammer. But less drag in the atmosphere. Okay. Yes, Bizak, that's absolutely right. But here, take a look. So this is, you know what? I'll do it in red. This is the surface of Mars, right? Right. Okay, this is the surface of Mars. Your atmosphere, right? Atmospheric pressure is like this. So this being like, what is it? It's like 2 psi or something. It's something stupid like 20, let's say 20 kPa, and then up here is 0 kPa, right? If you're coming in, what you want to do is you don't want to land like this, right? Because you're not, you only use the atmosphere for a real second where the atmosphere is thick enough, right? If they jump Starship in like this, right? Even though it's not spending a lot of time in a denser part of the atmosphere, it's spending more time cumulatively in the atmosphere. And you can slow down a lot over time. Eventually, right? Eventually, right? If this is Mars again, right? You're coming in, right? And you just want to kind of skirt the side of it, right? And it slows you down. It slows you down enough to where you get into orbit, and then you go lower, and then you go lower, and then you get down. Or you could turn the thrusters around on Starship and boost back, or if you wanted to do it another way, right? Just basically come in, brake as much as you need to, and then do that, then do this, do the flip and burn, do that, and then just burn for a longer period of time all the way down to make up for the speed. But you can use that atmosphere. You can aero brake pretty hard on Mars. There's tons of ways to do it. Nice, Gabe, man. Do you have Les Mullets open? I don't, Jim. I'm rooting for Freiburger and Vice Grip. That's my team. Just do the flip and burn. Yeah, exactly, right? I'll be right back. So what's that, Kuro? That's what I was referring to. A 1 mile altitude on Mars may equal 5 miles on Earth. Mars on the surface is equivalent to atmospheric pressure at like, what is it, 60, 70,000 feet on Earth, something about that. In fact, there's high altitude test, Kuro, that they do to test Martian reentry by launching stuff up there and having it decelerate in the upper atmosphere to see how it works. Wide load. Yeah, Mars is nothing, Kuro. Oh, yeah. Damn. Look at that I-beam. Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy. Damn.
It's a very big I-beam. It is super. Well, that's not the super thick one. Damn. Damn, boy. That's such an old meme. I don't care. I think it's funny. Biggie. Oh, bow, oh, bow, 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 Ooh. Lord Humongous, yes. Yeah, look at that. I wonder why they're holding off on tiling this area here. What is that? Yeah, Da Vinci, some tiles on Starship are glued. They are glued like the space shuttle, but the vast majority of them are mechanically adhered. It's true, Thran. You're not wrong. Yep, scrap from the laser cutter. Yep. Cutouts for a giant chessboard. Chess? Want to play chess? Shall we play a game? How about a nice game of chess? Way too clean for a plasma cutter? Ah, yes, Battle. Only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise. But why would sand people want to slaughter Jawas? Ah, 2 birds in 1 night. Nah, thermonuclear war sounds better. I mean, I got chess teed up, dude. We could do that if we wanted to. Flight sim is not finished. being installed. But why male models? Are you serious? I just told you that a moment ago. Right. Of course you're serious, and don't call you Shirley. I mean, I could load up Jess again if you want. Cause yeah, I'm pretty much good on the space news. I saw everything. We covered everything that we needed to cover today. Did you finally get a resource scan of Kerbin last night? No, I got one of the moon though. The final orbit that we needed to get that thing in around Kerbin was a retrograde orbit, John.